bless the name of the Lord for this beautiful day. My name is Patrick Tolani. I'm a pastor with Christ Love Assembly, a parish of the Redeemed Christian Church of God in Oxford. Thank you for joining me as we reflect together from the Open Heavens Daily Guide written by Pastor Adeboye, the General Overseer of the Redeemed Christian Church of God. Our topic for today is School of Obedience, and the Bible passage is taken from the book of Exodus chapter 4. We are reading from verse 2 through to 4. So the Lord said to him, "What is that in your hand?" And he said, "A rod." And he said, "Cast it on the ground." So he cast it on the ground, and it became a serpent, and Moses fled from it. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Reach out your hand and take it by the tail." And he reached out his hand and caught it, and it became a rod in his hand. Our memory verse, Job 36:11. If they obey and serve him, they shall spend their days in prosperity and their years in pleasures. Our reflection. God wanted to use Moses to deliver his people from the slavery they faced in Egypt. Moses, for obvious reasons, wanted to resist the assignment. He was going from one excuse to the other, but God decided to show him a little bit of his power. He told him to drop his rod, and the rod became a snake. And Moses at this stage was afraid, and he ran away from what used to be his own rod. Then the Lord instructed him to pick the snake up and take it by the tail. He did, and the snake became a rod in his hand. There are very important lessons to be learned from this experience. The first one is that when God calls us to serve him, he will not only necessarily know the entire gamut of that assignment. For instance, in this case, God did not tell him that the rod was going to become a snake. If he was told, I am sure he probably would not cast it to the ground or do something other than what God wanted him to do. Many people have been called by the Lord, but they wanted more revelation about God and what would be the entire dimension of the assignment before they started. That is a wrong thing to do. If you want God to show you everything about the assignment, you will wait forever in futility. If God tells you to do something, please go ahead and do it and allow God to continue to lead you in the assignment. The second lesson from today's Open Heavens Daily Guide is to recognize that when God calls you, it is essentially a journey of a lifetime of obedience. You will notice that in the case of Moses, God gave him instruction on what to do in detail. What was to introduce Moses? All Moses had to do was to hear from God and obey whatever the Lord has said to him. All God wants us to do as we walk with him in his vineyard is to be completely obedient to him. God related to Moses in that way for a very long time, and Moses was doing whatever the Lord told him to do until, unfortunately, he failed by not carrying out God's instruction to the letter when he was told to speak to the rock, but unfortunately, he struck the rock. The lesson of obedience. When God calls you, gives you an assignment, gives you the detail, what God expects of you is total obedience. Our key point, in any kingdom assignment, two things are paramount: hearing from God and obeying him. Your success in life and ministry lies in your ability to do those two things. I thank you once again for joining me today, and I believe the Lord that you will remain obedient to him in whatever assignment he has committed into your hand. The Lord bless you, and do have a wonderful day. Bye for now.